Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Awaken the World October Challenge. Today, October 3rd, day 3, evening meditation. Don't be afraid to join in anytime. The past videos may be accessed via the group page. There's a link to the videos on the left-hand side. And of course, I will get them up to YouTube by the end of this weekend. So, I have my trusty headphones with me today, and the reason being is our meditation is actually going to be Om So Hum, and we're going to do a beautiful choir version, and you'll see a picture of the cover, and of course you can pick this up for under $5 from gumroad.com. And it offers, for that, you get 3 versions of it, a 1 hour, a 3 hour, and a 9 hour loop. And I just love them. Some days they're just running quietly in the background wherever I'm working, and it's very peaceful, helps to center yourself. And, this morning we were deciding that just for today, with the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, that we were going to look for that spark of divine in every interaction. And hopefully you've done so. Hopefully you've taken an opportunity to do so in your day. And you can write these things down if you wish to. You can keep your journal. You can really start to commune with yourself more and more, to go inside. Kelly and I were talking today. We managed to get half an hour and ran over and played some tennis. It is, maybe 5 degrees out there, maybe 7 degrees, and there's a cool wind and cloudy, but not raining or snowing. And the courts were dry, and actually it was a lot of fun because you're bundled up well, and you're playing and you're not overheating, and that's always our issue personally, Kelly and I, as we're aging, is that we don't like to overheat too much for long periods of time. There's only so naked you can get at our age, really. It's true. So the whole point of this morning's was to allow yourself to begin to see that God is indeed everywhere, that divine sea of consciousness pervades everything, and that we are part of that consciousness, and we are being looked through. We are the mirror upon which creation is able to look back upon itself. Each mirror with a different flavor, a different filter, a different warp, especially in my case. So for this evening, and this is why Om So Hum is so fitting, we're going to start to move beyond that conscious tip of the iceberg. We're going to begin to explore whether it's possible that there's something deeper. We've began the process to reintegrate what Eckhart Tolle would call our pain body, and when he speaks of that, he's talking about the collectivity of all those various I's who feel they have suffered in some way and are still attached to that suffering, have not reconciled that. And in my case, of course, I am looking at all of them as stuck versions of yourself. And that way it is easier to see them, easier to reintegrate that energy again. Because you still love that version of yourself, even though it's causing you pain in some way. And the pain, of course, is in the holding on to what's happened to it, to not understand the perfection in it, to not understand ultimately the gift in it. This evening we reaffirm and begin the process that we are open to the concept that we and the divine are all one entity and truth. One beautiful, wondrous creation. One sea of consciousness, where we as individuated drops within that contain all of the power and all of the wisdom of the entire sea of consciousness. As above, so below. What is reflected in the microscopic is evident in the macroscopic. And of course, vice versa. So, in Om, of course, we are speaking of the vibration of the entirety of the relative universe. The vibration of that sea of consciousness pouring itself out into relativity, into physicality. The creation of time and space, distance, suns, moons, galaxies, planets. It's amazing. In So and Hum, we are literally recognizing the amness of us within that cosmic totality. As we've talked about before, I am with nothing after it is a statement of connectivity and wholeness with the oneness of all creation. So this evening we will meditate, and I invite you to chant along in your head if you wish, or simply enjoy, and then we will pick up with a short discussion on what we're going to be getting on till tomorrow. Sound good? Let's begin. So I would ask you to find a comfortable position. It's perfectly okay to lay down for this one. Although I would ask you try to keep your back in its natural, open, curved posture. You want to keep those energy channels open. Now I'm pretty sure I have the volume right and there should be no issues. If anyone does have any issues, certainly let me know. I will keep an eye on the time. Allow yourself to maintain yourself upright if you are sitting upright. You can imagine that golden thread leading up through your crown chakra into the heavens. So we'll start by closing our eyes. We'll imagine ourselves, see ourselves in our mind's eye coming to that beautiful meadow. We move to our sacred circle. Take our well-worn cushions. Today, there is no need for us to chant, for in this we are provided for. Om So Hum. A beautiful expression of our connection, our wholeness, our oneness with that divine. So for tomorrow, we're going to begin with, as I said, beginning to pave the way for reaching below the surface of the ocean, finding out more about that 9/10 below the surface. And hi Cindy, I saw that you had popped on there. And yeah, there is no notification, unfortunately. I mean, I do put it right into the announcements every evening by the end of day as to what the next day's schedule is. For example, tomorrow morning the meditation is at 7 a.m. because we have the play until fairly late tonight. So by the time we come home and unwind from that, it'll be 11 o'clock or whatever the case may be. So do look in the announcements. It will be posted there by the end of every day. And I believe that you can make sure to receive notifications. You can set up your notifications for the group itself to receive a notification when there is a new announcement. Tomorrow we are going to begin to look, as I said, deeper into our being, and we're going to start by attempting to remove that, judgment again and readdress what judgment is. So our mantras and our discussions will be focused on judgment. Oh, you're still there, Cindy. That's absolutely great. And Cindy had asked, are we still doing YouTube this month? And yes, and I was going to post that later in the week. YouTube, we're still going to have a Sunday live Q&A every Sunday via YouTube, and these meditations will, as of this weekend, be posted to YouTube and become available, likely one day behind the Facebook group live meditation. So, for example, next week, Monday's meditation will show up on YouTube by Tuesday, for example. So, and the reason for that was to encourage more group participation, to encourage more discussion and get people more online with speaking with each other within the group as well. And we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, we're still going to do a live Q&A. Although, to be honest, the live Q&As will be related to this challenge. I mean, I'm really making October my best effort to offer anybody and everybody who wants to a real opportunity to work with themselves and go deeper within themselves. So, we had talked about judgment many times before, and we're going to work with judgment tomorrow. We're going to work at it at a mantra level, and we're going to speak about judgment and talk about understanding the difference between objective observation and judgment itself. Removing judgment is especially important because until you're willing to remove judgment, you will always feel like you're batted around from good to bad, like to not like, ups and downs. and judgment is a huge part of it. And judgment is really a matter of perception, and perception is really a matter of our consistent patterns of thinking about things the same way. For example, when we say the word problem, problem is negative, whereas the word puzzle can be kind of fun, actually, or at least neutral. Doesn't bring up all these negative things. And we're going to deal with that as one of the obstacles to our connecting with our higher being. Because, of course, the judgments that we make create a great deal, if not all, of the stress that we undergo. And we want to see that gone. Cindy says she'll be watching many replays. Yeah, I know, Cindy, and you know, it was a real struggle as whether or not to do it on YouTube or on Facebook, and I decided this time to go with Facebook, and hopefully as our YouTube channel grows a little more, you know, and we get some more of the users on board with it, we will do the next challenge in the early spring and do that via YouTube at that time. For today, though, and something to look at in your retrospections, you know, hopefully you've picked up a journal or a writing pad, you know, something you can dedicate to this for yourself. And I'm going to give a little hint that I've had a conversation with one of our other group members, and she's already aware of this. So, you know, she got a little bit of a head start. But for tomorrow, perhaps, if you have time between today and the end of tomorrow, grab yourself a sheet of paper. And at the top, I'd like you to write 2 words, my, in big capitals, and then weaknesses in big capitals. And I'd like you to go and list them, one by one by one. And at the end of that, when you have that list complete, I would like you to cross off the word weaknesses and write the word strengths instead. And then, without changing anything else on the page, go ahead and reread what you've written and look at your life one more time from the point of view of judging your weaknesses as strengths. That's it. Really simple. Very enlightening little exercise to do. It will help you, it will prepare you, it will give an opening for removing our judgments, for removing that judgmental self. Much love. Namaste to you all tonight. Cindy, thank you so much for being here. Obviously, Kelly for being here. I guess I'll thank myself for being here because I think I was here. You all have a wonderful night, and we will see you for day 4 tomorrow morning's meditation at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Take care.